everyone, and welcome to this week's nutrition video. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Nicole Cheney and I have a degree in child nutrition, and this week's video is going to be all on toddler diets, ages 1 to 5. Now this is a fun age. This is when they start experimenting with things, with toys, solids, foods, all that good stuff. They go in and they get messy, guys. They get messy. They come inside and they're covered in mud and you're like, what'd you do, right? Well, they do the same thing with food. They like to experiment with food. They like to put it on themselves. They like to taste it, spit it out. They like to put it in places that food shouldn't be put. But this is good. This is them experimenting, and this is a great time for you to instill some healthy habits in your child. So we are going to get right to this video right now. Let's get started. Okay, so children at this age have lots of energy. They have lots of energy throughout the day. They need to be able to have food to keep the energy up, right? But they have tiny, tiny little stomachs, right? So they can't fit a lot of food in here. So this video, we're going to be sharing what little snacks that you can do that is healthy, nutritious, gets them experimenting with different foods, but also gives them some good healthy habits, okay? Because you got to think quick on your feet, right? As a mom, and them at this age, they need food. They get hangry. I don't know about you guys, but my kids get hangry. They get angry. They don't have food in their tummies. So this video is going to help you with all that, okay? So what food do toddlers need to eat for good nutrition? It's actually a very wide range of foods, okay? They're now weaned off of the milk, right? It is important for you to kind of recommend some healthy foods every single time they want to eat, like every meal, and kind of like get that into their habit, okay? So with us, every meal, there needs to be a vegetable. So at lunch and dinner, they need to pick a vegetable. They can pick any vegetable they want that's in the fridge, and they need to have it, right? They also need to have at least 2 pieces of fruit every single day, and they get to pick whatever fruit that they want in there. I give them options. I give them choices. At this age, it's really good to have lots of options that you know they're going to love, that they can pick from, okay? Because they are now they're feeling the independence, right? They want to do things on their own. So if they feel like they have a choice in the matter, it's a lot easier to get them to eat the healthy foods, okay? So I have a very wide variety of berries in my fridge, apples, bananas, oranges. If you have my app, you've downloaded, there's lots of different ways where you can store these fruits and vegetables and preserve them so they actually don't go bad very long in the fridge or on the counter. So if you're watching this on the app, you're already ahead of the game. All right. So that's a great way to kind of like start getting those healthy habits in, is just giving them tons of options, giving them a great sense of, hey, I'm doing this on my own with mommy. You know, I'm making my choices. This is fun. You can make it fun. Another thing that we do to kind of get them to eat healthy fruits and vegetables is I have different colored plates. So we got them at IKEA, okay? They're little plates, plastic plates, and they're pink, blue, green, yellow, orange, purple. And I literally have those plates, and on some days it's like, okay, what color plate would you like? And they pick like blue or they pick yellow, and everything that day is themed to the color of their plate. So all their fruits and vegetables and everything like that, and they love it. They have so much fun with it, okay? So there's something like you can do stuff like that as well, okay? Because they're learning new things, they're exploring, and when you make it kind of fun for them, they get really involved with it and very, very excited, okay? So with fruits and vegetables, you should try and have at least 5 portions per day. That's why we make sure there's a vegetable every single meal. They have to have fruit. And because we've been doing this so long with my girls are now 3 and 5, when they are hungry and want a snack, they actually go, oh, can I have an orange? Can I have an apple? Can I have some peppers? Can I get some cucumbers? Like, they ask for that rather than, oh, can I have some a cookie, or can I have a muffin, or can I have a brownie? I make all the cakes and cookies and all that extremely healthy, but so if they do want it, that's okay. And then, like, occasionally they're like, oh, can I have a brownie? I was like, oh yeah, sure, here. But they are now going towards the healthier option, which is amazing. It's because of me working with them to get these habits involved and actually teaching them about nutrition, teaching them what's in their food. We also grow our own food, so they're in the garden with me growing the food. They're seeing where the food's coming from, right? And just giving them that good knowledge and getting them hands-on in the experience with you also helps them want to eat the food that they have grown or that they have made. So I get them in the kitchen too, okay? Now, with the fruits and vegetables, I will say the younger they are, obviously make it into smaller pieces. You don't want to have that little choking hazard at all. And also with the harder vegetables, kind of like steam them a little bit so they're softer so they don't hurt their teeth, okay? So that's about the 1 to 3 range. You want to make sure everything's in smaller pieces. Vegetables are a little bit steamed. If they're a harder vegetable, that sort of thing, you kind of want to just keep that mindfulness of it all, okay? Now, the next food, which some parents may be 100% against, but this, with the whole new keto thing out there, but this is super important. It's other grains and starchy foods, okay? 5 portions a day about this, okay? Now, they need this to keep their energy up, okay? Their bodies work different than ours. They burn through energy like you wouldn't believe, okay? So they need something to keep going, okay? And our body does work on, like, our brains do need glucose to function, right? So they need to keep replacing that glucose in there. And a great way to do that is with whole grains, okay? Whole grains and starchy foods. And starchy foods, I'm saying like sweet potatoes, a little bit of pasta. And I'm not saying cover the whole plate. They can have a whole grain sandwich. What we do, and my kids absolutely love, is we make whole grain bread pizza. So I make the whole grain bread. You can buy it at the store or go to a bakery where it's freshly made. You don't have to make it from scratch. And I cut it very thin, so it's about this thin, okay? It's thinner than a normal slice of bread. And we put a little bit of homemade pizza sauce on it because we can. So we have a whole bunch of homemade stuff like that. Then we put all their favorite vegetables on top, and then some cheese, and we put it in the oven. And that's one of their favorite dinners to have, and it covers the grains, the dairy, and vegetables. And a lot of times they have a little bowl of berries beside it, so they are just eating really good and healthy with that, okay? So, but the portion sizes is like, okay, 2 to 4 potato wedges, you know? It's not like a full potato. You just want like 3 to 5 tablespoons of cereal if you're giving them cereal, okay? And then like 2 to 4 tablespoons of pasta, 2 to 4 tablespoons of rice, 1 to 3 tablespoons of mashed potatoes, and 2 to 4 tablespoons of like spaghetti, okay? Like, and this is just, they just need a little bit of grain in there. I know with the reduction of sugar in the children and the reduction of carbs in our like society now, your child does need it. They need it for the development of their brains to function properly. They do need a little bit of carbs, okay? The next thing is dairy, or the alternative to dairy, and they need about 3 portion sizes a day, okay? So if you need a dairy alternative, just kind of like research it a little bit, look into it. My girls do not drink milk. We as a family, we don't drink cow's milk. We grab almond milk or coconut milk, and actually they add some calcium to it. So that's a great way to do it, or even soy milk. You can actually now get blends of everything, of like, you can get like coconut and almond milk blended together and stuff like that at the store, which is like crazy. They didn't have that when I was growing up, that's for sure. But that's just kind of like what we did. We never really went into cow's milk. We just went straight into that, and they don't really, they have tasted cow's milk. They don't like the taste of cow's milk. So we've done that, and they've liked it. Okay, another dairy thing that you can have is yogurt. Okay, now when you do yogurt, try and make sure it's plain yogurt. Okay, Greek yogurt's the best, but plain vanilla yogurt is the best. Okay, if your child does like berries or something in it, like if you get like the berry blends at the store, you can now switch to vanilla. Okay, and then mix your own berries in there, because that's what we do. Okay, and what we also do is we actually kind of put it in cans. Okay, like in little containers. We make it all up at once. We put it in these little containers, and we actually freeze it. And so when it comes out, we like divide it up, and then we put the divisions into the freezer. We only have one out in the fridge, so it doesn't go bad. So you can do it in a big bulk, and then just kind of take it out for your kids, in that sort of way. You can also make like little desserts, so like yogurt bark or something like that, to get your dairy intake in. You can add chocolate chips to that. You can add like sugar-free chocolate chips. You can add fruit to that. You can add nuts to that. You can really get fancy with the bark. So it's always different and changing as well, and incorporating new things with that. Or you can get, of course, just cheese that you can kind of get the dairy intake with it as well. My girls aren't a huge fan of like just eating the cheese. They only really like it if I make a homemade pizza. So we do get very creative with like little like snacks and desserts, like yogurt bark and stuff like that for them. The next thing that they do need is meat, fish, and stuff like that. Okay, they need a good protein rich food at this age. Okay, now you gotta make sure if you're feeding your child fish, it is deboned. Okay, and it's cut up into tiny pieces. That's even the same for meat, right? You gotta make sure it's deboned, cut up into smaller pieces for them to eat. Now, with this being said, you also have to, with meat, you have to kind of realize the toughness of it. So if it's a little tougher, like pork chops, may not be the greatest thing for the child to have at that age because of choking, right? So some examples of portion sizes is like half a slice of chicken or turkey, half a slice of beef, half of a thin tuna, okay? Scrambled eggs, okay? Like 2 to 3 tablespoons of scrambled eggs on their plate is amazing, all right? Like 2 to 3 tablespoons of baked beans or chickpeas or even lentils if they're doing more of a plant-based diet. My girls are more plant-based. They actually prefer to have the beans, chickpeas, or lentils rather than meat because they don't like the toughness of meat. They just hate chewing it. They hate the texture of it, and they rather have the plant-based stuff. Plus, we also grow the chickpeas and lentils and some beans in our garden, so they're picking it and they want to eat it as well. So you can just try. They need a good rich protein source. So just kind of like experiment to see what your child likes with that. Okay. Now, another thing you want to think about in this developmental stage is, what is your child drinking? At this developmental stage, I would say absolutely zero pop, okay? There shouldn't be anything carbonated in your child's diet from 1 to 5, okay? And juices should be like a no-no until 3, and then you like water that juice down, okay, if they really want juice. And that's just really because the carbonation can actually really hurt the child's stomach. So you do not want that, okay? And the juices is you want them to You still want to kind of have a reduction in the sugar as they develop, so they have this good healthy habits, okay? And also, so they don't have these big dips in insulin, okay? This is kind of when diabetes can set in later on in life when this happens, and other health concerns as well, okay? So you just want to be careful with the control of your sugar with it, okay? And plus, carbonated pops or drinks or anything like that have absolutely no nutritional value to the child whatsoever. So there's no benefit for them, okay? And even juices, they are 80% sugar and actually have no, like, they actually have to infuse the healthiness into it. So if they do, no. Make your own juice. We actually make our own. We have wild grapes that grow in our backyard, and we make our own wild grapes juice, and that's what we feed our kid. Okay, so that's just kind of like the generalization of what your child should have in this at this time frame. Now we can go into snacking and how to kind of make it healthier, and I've kind of like touched on that a little bit in here. So of course, fresh fruits with your, you know, apples, bananas, oranges, strawberries. You can try and do the whole plate thing. Pick a color and just kind of theme your day around it, like that. Dried fruit. That has been a big topic with some of my clients is dried fruit. Okay, if you get it at the store, I would kind of avoid it. They actually coat them in sugar, and that's because kind of like how they preserve them is with a little syrup on it. Okay, so if you want dried fruit, I would do it yourself at home. Other than that, I would try to avoid it and just get fresh fruit. Okay, then we kind of went over the vegetables with the plate and just try, and even if you don't eat the vegetable, have as many vegetables, fruit and vegetable options available to your child so they can try it all out. They can see what they like, because you don't want to limit them just because of your likes and dislikes. You want to try and give them a whole spectrum of things to try out. Okay, and then, you know, the whole dairy products with the cheese, cottage cheese, yogurt, fresh or frozen, the breads and cereals, then your proteins. Okay. What I do want to kind of like focus on with the snacks here is these heavily processed foods. Okay, they should be avoided when they're with your child. And the processed foods that I'm talking about is like any of the Rice Krispie treats. There's different types of granola bars. I'm trying to like the fruit snacks, fruit roll-ups. I'm having a hard time thinking because my children don't eat this. So I'm trying to think. Goldfish, those little snacks should be avoided, okay? You want to try and not get your child into those kind of foods, because then they would want more of those foods because they're very high in sugar, so they get sugar cravings, everything. What you want to do is try to get your child to get the glucose they need through fruits and vegetables. Okay, so if they have a sugar craving, you do that. Okay, all the cakes and cookies and everything, try gradually to start making them at home with no sugar, just a little bit of sweetener or honey or maple syrup, and they will get their sugar cravings from that. And then also, if you get them in the kitchen and show them what's in there and it's kind of like start talking about what's in them, and then you can also compare them to the store-bought cookies, and you can say, this is all my ingredients in here, okay? This is what, and then you go through the list of ingredients and you read all of it back for them and go, are these ingredients in the cookies that we're making? And you go, no. Okay, do you know what these ingredients are? No. And we kind of talk about it. And so you get a better understanding of what is out there at the grocery store and what you could do at home that's really simple and easy too, okay? To kind of eat as healthy as you can, okay? So this is my video for toddlers. This is the fun part where you kind of experiment and get all dirty with your child and get your hands dirty. There we go. The hands dirty with your child, and get them in the kitchen and get them baking and just kind of get them participating in their diet and having them pick and choose and kind of like make them feel like they're in control but really you're just kind of guiding them in the right direction. Okay, does that make sense? But that's my video for today, and I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I'll see you guys next time.